Recording in progress.
And let's let the sound of this next bell take us to the deepest place within us. All right, let's stand for our first couple of songs.
evolving in perfection with a pure and simple goal. Free to love, I can be. Free to love, I am free. Free to love, I'm being free. Free to love, I am free. I declare my independence. I'm a free spirit in perfection with a pure and simple goal. Declare my independence. I'm a free spirit. Authentically I'm living, knowing this is who I'm meant to be. I am free.
Or relatively inexpensive.
All right, friends, while you're on your feet, please turn to one another and offer the Namaste greeting. Namaste, namaste, musicians, thank you. Namaste to our tech team in the back, Brian and Jesus. Namaste to our love streamers. Blessings, we're so grateful you're here with us. Namaste, everyone. Namaste. And as you take your seat, would you please take a moment to silence your cell phones? That would be fabulous. I'll try to remember to remind you to turn them back on at the end of the service. I'm Reverend Elizabeth Rowley Hogue, and I'm the spiritual leader here, and I use she, her gender pronouns, and the land upon which we gather is the unceded territory of the Chumash and Salinan people. Welcome to the Awakening Ways Center for Spiritual Living, where all that we ask is that you remain open to the possibility of changing your entire life by changing your mind. This service has been designed especially for you. Welcome home. We have been waiting for you. Woo! All right, I have an affirmation for us today, and I invite you to please repeat after me. There's a power in the universe greater than I am. And I can use it. And so I use it. And so it is. And now our practitioner for the day, BJ DiGirolamo, is going to read our reading for the day and open us up with prayer. But before she does that, I would like to call your attention to, in your programs, you have a form like this. It's a salmon-colored form. That's salmon, right? That's making me hungry. It's a salmon-colored form, and this is a prayer request form. And we're a community who loves to pray. So we have a soul support team. There are 10 of us, ministers and licensed practitioners, and we absolutely love to pray. So we invite you to fill out the prayer request form in your program. And if you need more, there's prayer request forms on the table over here on the left, and you can either drop your request in the box on the left here, on my left, or you can place it in the offering basket when it comes around. Now, I want to encourage you to fill out a form. Even if you've prayed for it before, if it's still something that's on your mind, on your heart, that you're looking for support with, we are here for you. And you know, whether it's something that is weighing heavy on your heart, or you're looking to manifest something, either or is perfect. We love it. And we want to support you with prayer. We just love to pray. So do not hesitate, please. We invite you to use us. That's what we're here for. And so for those tuning in on the live stream, you can send us, or in here, if you come up with something during the week you'd like prayer for, you can send us an email at info@awakeningways.org with the subject line prayer. And our soul support team will get that as well. And now we're also gonna have BJ out in the foyer after the service offering 1-minute miracles. These are laser. That means you know what you want prayer for, and you're gonna tell BJ, and she's gonna, boom, take you right into prayer and have it be done. 1-minute miracles. Get them while they're hot. And so we also encourage that, you don't have to have something that is heavy on your heart for a 1-minute miracle. Maybe you just you're feeling great and you want to have a prayer of gratitude. Oh, those are fun too. She will totally lift you up with those as well. And then I want to call your attention to Gina DiGirolamo up here in the front, who is holding the high watch for our service. She's holding consciousness for us, knowing that the prayer, that everything that comes through this service is especially for you. And so know that you are held and loved and supported. She's doing great. She's just in meditation, all right? And now, without further ado, I turn it over to BJ.
Thank you. So my reading is from the 365 Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes, which I believe this is our book of the year. Yes, our book of the year. So this is March 9th. I give form to the invisible. Life at the center of your being is a silent power. Physical facts, form, and conditions are no obstruction to this power. It flows through them and takes a new form in them. It remolds them. That which makes can remake. That which molds can remold. That which creates can recreate. Remember, what you see comes from what you do not see. The visible is the invisible made manifest. It is the invisible caught in temporary form. Each time you think, you are giving form to this invisible power. The question arises whether any limit can be placed upon the possibility of the conscious use of spiritual power. Theoretically, it would seem impossible to place such a limit. The only limitation would be that which proceeds from lack of belief or understanding. The Spirit itself must be ever present within us. If we could strip our mind of fear, superstition, and all sense of separation from this divine presence, approaching it quite simply and directly, we would probably be surprised at the results that would follow. In using spiritual law, the one having the greatest faith obtains the best results. I am surrounded by a spiritual presence that responds to my word. Today I take charge of my thinking, knowing that the divine appears to each only as a measure of his own imagination. I enlarge the concept I present to it for fulfillment. I wait calmly and expectantly for new and greater experiences to come to me. Oh, and just turning in this present moment, I know that there is only one Spirit, one love, one God, one living Spirit Almighty, the life force behind all things. And I know that I am absolutely connected with this source because I can never be separate from that of which I come from. I am part of Spirit. I am God, and God is me, and I am one with this source. And so I know that this service is divinely guided in all ways. I know that the music that we've already heard this morning has been an uplifting fulfillment for us sitting here, and I know that Reverend Elizabeth's talk today will enlighten us in ways that we haven't imagined before. I know that there is a message for each one of us to hear today. And I know that that message helps keep us grounded and centered in our own truth of knowing who we are and whose we are. And so, as we go through this service, I know that it is blessed in all ways. And so I give great thanks for this knowing in this way of life and this teaching. And so I can just release my word into that law of mind where I know it's done. And so it is. And so it is.
How y'all doing out there? We need a little help from the congregation today. 1, 2, 3.
We got the hands up.
need's a man. All I 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 need's a man. That all our needs are met. Sometimes I forget that all my needs are met. Now and then I fall asleep thinking things I don't believe until I wake up in gratefulness, thinking all the ways I'm blessed, that all my needs are met. There were times I recall when I couldn't see the light of day, but somehow sweet spirit made a way out of no way. And I testify, no matter how dark it gets, that all our needs are met. I could not have come this far without the everlasting arms, my shelter from the cold. I'm so grateful that I know, but there were times when I thought I couldn't make it through another day, but somehow sweet spirit made a way out of no way. That is why I testify. No matter how dark it gets, that all our needs are met. Cause there were times when I thought I couldn't make it through another day, but somehow sweet spirit made a way out of no way. And that is why I testify, no matter how dark it gets, that all our needs are met. That all our needs are met. That all our needs are met.
Woo! Yes, I think they need a standing ovation. Come on, let's give them some love. Woo! Yeah. We are so blessed. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow, we are so blessed. Hi, welcome. Hello. Well, it looks like we only had one person oversleep this morning. But he made it. All right, beloveds, it's so great to see you today. How's everybody doing? Feeling good? All right. Well, you look good, I'll tell you that. I am so amazed and impressed by our musicians. Woo! Still getting situated there. Let's give them a moment. Yeah. All right. Woohoo! Man, this is better than coffee. So, let's see. Okay, today is March 9th, in case you were wondering. I'm still Reverend Elizabeth, in case you were wondering. Our topic for today, this is so perfect because our topic for today is awakening as manifestors. All right, so last week we looked at awakening. You know, the seed of awakening for the month of March is awakening. And so last week I spoke about, well, Spirit spoke through me about flashes of illumination and those sparkles and shimmers and glimmers that we experience, which are the moments that we have had in our lives that we woke up and we recognized, realized, remembered, whatever you want to call it, right? We understood there was something greater than our thinking mind, something greater than our small selves, that we were actually a part of a more grand thing in this life, which is like, thank God. You know, in the 12-step programs, they would say, my mind is like a bad neighborhood. You don't want to go there alone, you know? And so it was like that, right? It was like that, wasn't it? Before you had that flash of illumination where you went, oh, I just got the God bumps. Where you go, oh, there's actually something more than this. And then you became so curious about it. You wanted to learn about it. And you went, oh, total God bumps. You wanted to discover more and improve your understanding and actually have close contact with it and improve that contact. Yes? Are you with me? Right? Yeah. And so we keep doing that, you know? And it was about how those are actually these experiences that we have are what we're talking about when we talk about the 5-step spiritual mind treatment, which is our form of affirmative prayer. And the first step, which is recognition. It's that moment of recognition when you recognized and remembered that there is something greater occurring. There's a power for good in the universe greater than I am, and I can use it. There's a power in the universe greater than I am, and I can use it, and I do use it. And so the first step is discovery, of course. Oh, there's something greater than I am, and I can use it. But then do you actually use it, you know? Or is it like, that thing that you bought from Amazon.com because you got an ad for it, and it showed up, and you threw it in the closet and never used it, right? And then, 3 years later, you're having a yard sale. No, you want to use it. There's a power for good in the universe greater than you are. There's a power in the universe greater than you are, and you can use it, so let's use it. And this is really what was discovered in this part of the kingdoms of consciousness that we're looking at this month. This is the second kingdom that we're looking at today. So the first kingdom was victim, right? We're a victim. We feel like the world is happening to us. And then we experience a sparkle, a shimmer, a glimmer, a flash of illumination where we recognize there's something else happening. And so I actually recognize that I'm not a victim. I actually recognize now that I can take ownership and responsibility of my life, which can be challenging, can't it? Like, how are we responsible? So we get to be responsible and begin to move in the direction of changing, transforming, or alchemizing our world, right? And so that level of responsibility is really what's happening in this second kingdom of consciousness. It's called the by me stage. So the first kingdom is we feel that things are happening to me. And then the second kingdom is we get that things are happening by me. And then the third kingdom is the world is happening, or spirit is happening through me. And then the fourth is as me. And so the fourth kingdom is really you have this experience of oneness and unity with all of life, that there's no separation, and you recognize that the person sitting next to you is you. And you recognize that when you're yelling at someone, you're yelling at yourself. When you're flipping someone off, where did that come from? I don't do that, but Spirit dropped that in for one of you. Who was it? Who is that for? Oh, thank you. Oh, they're over here in the corner. If you're flipping someone, I'm like, on the freeway, for example, right? You're just doing that to yourself. Like, you really understand. And then if you have that understanding, you no longer do it because you recognize while you're harming others, you think you're harming someone else, but you're actually harming yourself. Okay, now, and so we move in and out of these, yes? And so you may have a day when you are at the top of your game, right? The world is happening as me, you know? Life is happening and spirit is existing as me. And so you have this sense of oneness and you are connected. And then something could happen that pulls you back into another kingdom. Maybe you get pulled into victim consciousness in another area of your life. And it's okay, right? But you guys, us, we are all evolved to such a degree that we now can move into the next kingdom a little more quickly than we would have before awakening, right? Before awakening, we may have stayed in the victim stage of consciousness for a long time. I can totally relate to that, you know, and staying in that victim consciousness where the world is happening to me, I believe is what kept me locked into drinking so much, you know, because it's like you have this story. Some of you may be able to relate to that. I had this story about the world and how things were wrong and it shouldn't be happening that way. And so I didn't like feeling that way, and then I would self-medicate, right? And so that became this vicious cycle occurring in my life until I had that moment of clarity, which is a flash of illumination, which Spirit said, it's time to stop drinking, Elizabeth. It's time. And I said, show me how. I was ready, you know, show me how. All right, so flashes of illumination, sparkles, shimmers, glimmers, those things that occur that have you wake up. And so then we move into manifestor stage. And Ernest Holmes observed that when we awaken to the realization that the mind is creative, we begin to take control of our destiny. That's powerful, isn't it? Now, I loved this reading for today. Thank you, BJ, because it's spot on. How does that happen? Because there's only one mind. The reading, I'll remind you, I give form to the invisible. Life at the center of your being is a silent prayer. Physical facts, form, and conditions are no obstruction to this power. It flows through them and takes a new form in them. It remolds them. That which makes can remake. That which molds can remold. That which creates can recreate. Remember, what you see comes from what you do not see. I'm going to repeat that. Remember, what you see comes from what you do not see. The visible is the invisible made manifest. The visible is the invisible made manifest. It is the invisible caught in temporary form. Whoa. Wrap your mind around that. That's what this is right now. We're the invisible caught in temporary form right here, right now. And so every time you think, you are giving form to the invisible power. So what you're thinking about right now is creating your experience. What's happening for you right now is a result of what you've been thinking in the past, okay? And so the good news with that is that whatever is happening in your life is a result of what the sum total of your thinking up until now. And the good news is that you can transform it. So don't think that you're stuck, because you know about stage 2 of spiritual growth, the kingdom of consciousness, that you have the power to create. How many of you have ever created something in your life? How many of you have ever manifested something? Yeah, through prayer and meditation, through your spiritual practice with faith and belief, and all of a sudden it came into form. It wasn't all of a sudden, though. You were doing the work. You were doing the work in consciousness. You were knowing, and I call it naming and claiming. And it's so funny, in our households, we have a saying, if there's some negative thing that comes up, because it happens, right? And something happens and you can go, rah. First of all, we do this thing to shake it off. But one of us will always say, that's not my affirmation. because that's not what I'm naming and claiming. That's not what I'm bringing into form, you know? And I was touched, moved, and inspired this week by so many people. I'm really having a great time being your full-time minister. Thank you. And we have a Bible class. It's Ignite Your Life with Bible Wisdom. And this is a day class that meets on Thursdays from 11 to 1:30. This is my first day class I've ever taught here. And so it's really cool. Yeah, it's great. And so the general theme that's happening, you know, I also meet with a group of ministers, some of my colleagues. We have what we call, it's our prayer posse. And this our prayer posse meets once a week on Tuesdays at noon. And so we're meeting and we're talking about things, and then I have other prayer partners, right? But the general theme through this week has been the level of stress that people are experiencing because of what's going on in the world. Can anyone relate to that? Now, regardless of what side of the political spectrum you're on, the consciousness of humanity right now is divisive. And so I am being very cautious, not superstitious, but cautious with myself, because I don't want to be pulled into that divisiveness. I want to stand firm in my faith and my belief in the consciousness of oneness, in the consciousness of love, unconditional love. Wow, we get to learn what that means, right? And so that's the practice. And what I've learned this week, or have noticed this week, is that this is common for everybody. You know, it's common for most people in the world right now. And what's happening is a call for us to be really present and really come to an understanding and set our intentions for how we want to be in the world. How do we want to be with each other, you know? I mean, we're all in here. This is like our safety bubble, right? We're love. We're like unconditional love, but can we bring this love out into the world? And can we be this space of love out into the world? And what's happening in my own consciousness, I've noticed, is I have like a cognitive dissonance or spiritual dissonance, you know? And it's because while I can I have an understanding of both sides of this political spectrum, and I love people, and so there's a part of me that, you know, that aches for the people who are suffering and what we've been seeing. And then at the same time, I don't feel like running out and being against is going to help me as a spiritual being having a human experience, or the world. I feel like that's not, like, it may seem like the thing to do, but it's, for me, my calling is, again, to be in this space of love and remember this place of oneness, and to truly understand that we don't have the whole picture. We don't have the whole picture, and, you know, it's like we are so sad when things occur, like natural disasters, devastation, because we see our family, our human family, suffering. But the reality is that something else is coming, and sometimes there's got to be some level of destruction for the new to give birth, right? And so this is the evolution of life. We're constantly in these cycles. And what came up for me this week was the story about the cowboy who was watching a film way back in the day. I heard this story about the cowboy watching the film, and he saw something he didn't like. It was being projected onto a wall, and he saw something he didn't like, and he tried to reach out to change it. And he was getting upset because nothing was happening, but he couldn't change what was being projected out there already, because it's an object of the past, right? Something is being projected. And so this is so relevant for us right now, because what would it be like if we were to look within and see what are we projecting out into the world? Where are we divisive? Where am I divisive? Where am I only half committed to my spiritual practice, or partially committed, you know? Or where am I pretending to be one way and then acting another way when no one's looking, for example, what, and what or who am I called to be? What spiritual qualities must I become in order to truly see the world in which I would love to see and be and live in? And then that's my call to action. It's a huge calling, right? But this is what we signed up for when we got our flash of illumination. Yes? Are you guys with me? All right, so we had these flashes of illumination, and then that's what happens, right? We move into recognizing what's my part in this? What am I called to do? Who am I called to be? And then that becomes our practice. That becomes our spiritual practice. Spiritual practice is not just praying. It's not just sitting in meditation. That's the easy, fun stuff, right? It's not just chanting. Spiritual practice is not just spiritual education and fellowshipping and circulation. All of those things are spiritual practice, but where the rubber hits the road in your spiritual practice is using these tools in your own life to create transformation, And so your spiritual practice, my spiritual practice, is to bring this into prayer and really get what is mine to do, what is mine to be, who am I called to be, and can I be that in the world? And for myself, most importantly, can I be that space for myself, right? And so I feel like this is what we're all up to right now. And that is our calling. And so looking at these four kingdoms of consciousness again, to me, by me, through me, and as me. All right? So manifesting our good. Manifesting our good. This is our stage 2, the manifester stage. Now I know everyone remembers The Secret. Who here has seen The Secret? Right? Oh, some of you haven't. Okay. Wow, really? Oh my gosh, we got to have a movie night. You got to see that. But it's really funny because The Secret was it came out, I don't even remember, 10, 15 years ago now, right? 15 years? Wow. And so it was huge. And so it's really cool because we have our Science Mind textbook, which was written in 1926. And there's a whole chapter on what Ernest Holmes calls mental equivalence, right? And he's talking about the manifester stage. He's talking about everything in The Secret. And so it's really cool to see the parallels, but it was interesting to see that movie and how much people resonated with it and were wanting to learn that. So it was mainstream, right? And so that's great news, though. That's great news because a lot of the people, a lot of the spiritual community, and even people who weren't really spiritual started to learn how to take responsibility for their own lives, which is so cool because more people moving into that stage, meaning they're moving out of the victim stage, yes? That's good news, right? And so what's next for us? We move out of the stage 2 and into stage 3, which is being a channel, which is so great for us because the ego starts to get in the back seat, right? The ego has already started to get in the back seat when you become the manifester, but your reward, your ego is so stoked because it's look what I can do. I'm a master manifester. I manifest everything, right? And so that kind of feeds the ego. And then a little bit, right? But when you're in stage 1, thinking the world is happening to me, you're really driven by the fears and the unconscious parts of your ego. And so you move into stage 2, and the ego kind of takes a back seat, but it's still making a lot of noise, right? And then into stage 3, it's really in the back seat, and so your spirit is now driving this chariot and leading the way and guiding the way, and you have learned how to surrender more, and we're going to talk more about that next week. And so powerful that we can name and claim. And I wanted to share a story with you about a time when My parents were still alive. Seems like a long time ago now. And so I came here. I was living in the Bay Area, and I came here to visit. My parents were already living in Grover Beach. They had a retirement home. And so I came to visit, and Mom always liked to go into town. You know, they live in Grover Beach, and she would like to go into San Luis Obispo for shopping and to have lunch. But each time she would be like, yeah, I don't really want to go because it's so hard to find parking. And it was a thing, so like we wouldn't go. And this time, you know, I was ready to help her out a little bit. So on this trip, I said, Mom, you know, you can manifest Gucci parking. And we called it Gucci parking because it was the best of the best. And so it was so great because she was like, what? But she was open to it. Because of course she wants Gucci parking. Who doesn't want that, right? And so I said, yeah. So instead of planning to not find parking, you're going to plan and set your intention in the universe that your parking is going to be there for you as soon as you arrive. Okay? And so she goes, okay, I got it. Now, how do I do this? Well, you can just do an incantation. So Gucci parking, Gucci parking, Gucci parking. Right? Start thinking that now, all right? We're getting ready. And she's like, woo, Gucci parking. We're going to get Gucci parking. I know, my mom, right? It was so cute. And so we get in the car, and she started to go, oh, it's going to be so hard. I said, Gucci parking. And she goes, yeah, Gucci parking, Gucci parking, Gucci parking, right? Sometimes we forget. Gucci parking, and we're going, and we're driving, right? And so I forget where our first stop was, but we turned the corner, and we turned the corner, and me, I'm like, I hope this works. Secretly, right? But I'm like, Gucci parking. I'm saying it in my head too. We got this, right? We got this, Gucci parking. All right, and so we turn the corner and we're going to this one destination, and I totally remember this. We're pulling up and we're getting close to it. Person pulls out, parked right in front of the store, and I was like, yes, right? Yes. And then she looks at me, she goes, oh, it worked. She pulls in, and we're like, yeah, we're celebrating. We're so happy. Gucci parking, we did it. And so she is so stoked that she tells my family. She's telling my aunts, my uncles, Gucci parking. Yeah, it's this thing. It totally works. They're trying it. They're texting me, oh my God, Gucci parking. And people are texting me all the time about, I got a parking space. Of course you did, right? So that's kind of a fun way that we can practice the manifester stage, okay? Gucci parking. But the key is you're not just saying it and then denying it. You've got to keep saying it so you believe it, right? And so this is how we strengthen that muscle, isn't it? So we strengthen our manifester muscle by practicing in this way. And so in this teaching, what a lot of teachers say, well, we go to this stage and we learn how to manifest palaces, princes, and parking spaces, or palaces, princesses, and parking spaces, right? So that means you learn to manifest your living situation, your romantic relationship, and also parking spaces. Very important, 3 very important things, right? And so you know you're in that stage once you've experienced manifesting those 3 things at least, okay? If not, you still have some work to do. How many of you are good at manifesting parking spaces? Awesome. Yeah, okay. All right, we can practice. So we're naming it and claiming it, right? So it's like a game. Like we can name and claim things and prove the truth in our life whenever possible. And I encourage you to keep practicing this. It's not like one and done. This was a conversation from our Bible wisdom class too. Something about one and done. I can't remember what they were talking about in that context, but it reminded me of a situation in my own life, which was I was getting out to go to the gym, and I do this Orange Theory fitness workout, which is very difficult, very challenging. but that's not my affirmation. It's easy and fun, and I love it, but I sure wish it could be one and done. Like, wouldn't that be cool? Like if working out was just a one and done thing. I mean, it would put a lot of gyms out of business because you only need it one time, but you go in once and then you're like, that's it. I'm in the best shape of my life. Can you imagine that? Yeah, it doesn't work that way though. Anyway, I digress. So we really need to move out of the stage of blaming people or blaming others, which is, blaming people and also organizations or public figures for situations in our lives. There comes a time when we must realize that as long as we're making other people responsible for our circumstances, we're giving away our power, and we are limiting our own ability to create and manifest the life we would love to live. We can do it. So as we let go of that need to blame anyone, including ourselves, because some of us blame ourselves, right? As soon as we let go of that need to blame anyone for where we are, we open ourselves up to shift into our next stage of development, becoming active manifestors of the path we truly want and need to be on. Because sometimes we think we want something, but it's really not what we need. And we can bring those two parts together to manifest what we want and need. So during the stage of by me, we may initially feel stretched, right? Or challenged by our current circumstance. And that may be happening for some of you in your life right now. But this challenge is often what is needed in order for us to dig deeper and become the causative agent in our experience. Can I get an amen? And so it is. I don't know what that accent was, but I just had it. Can I get an amen? I said, that's funny. All right. Friends, we're not victims of circumstance. We are creators of it. Can you get that? Yeah. We're not victims of circumstance. We are creators. So what are you creating in your life? This week is all about the manifestor stage. So we also get to experience a sense of personal accomplishment in this stage of by me, and that is a beautiful thing too, because we recognize, oh, I can do this. Oh, I do have this power. Oh, and more is revealed. All right, so I'm going to invite our musicians to come on up and prepare for our closing song. As I come back to this idea that I mentioned previously about the movie being projected onto the wall and the cowboy seeing something out there that he didn't like and reached out to try to change it. And now in this metaphor, we can really understand that that's what we sometimes do. It's okay. Maybe we get confused because the stuff we're seeing is real, right? But it's also being projected out onto the screen of our existence. And so the world today is in a very different place than it was 20 years ago and even 5 years ago, right? And we continue to evolve, right? So I've talked about this before, how the earth is rotating and it's rotating in its own rotation, and then it's also rotating around the sun, and it's rotating with the other planets in the solar system, and then this universe is rotating with the other universes through the cosmos, right? And so with each rotation, it's like a spinning. If you've ever spun like a yo-yo, for example, it goes really fast, and then suddenly you can't see it. It just looks like a circle, right? And so we're spinning even faster than that. Imagine with me, stay with me. We're spinning so fast that we're evolving, but maybe we can't see it, but something is happening. There's something greater than what we are seeing with our own eyes happening. And so we can tap into that and know and remember that what we're seeing in the world is changing. Everything is constantly changing. Everything that's happening right now is a result of the thinking of the past. And so what are we creating? Who do you want to be? Who are you called to be? Who and what do you want this world to look like? And what is your part in it? What is mine to do? What is mine to be? And so remembering that in this second kingdom of consciousness, by me, we're no longer a victim. We're taking responsibility for our own thinking, for our choices, our decisions, and we are creating what we do want in our lives. It's a high calling. And your call to action this week is think of 3 examples in your life when you successfully manifested your good. I would love to hear about them, and I may even want to have you come up here and share with the community. I want to hear about these, right? And then I invite you to also journal about those times and celebrate. Celebrate your spiritual growth. It's a big deal. You're a big deal. Thank you. All right, let's take a deep breath together. And join me in turning your attention inward as we return to that beautiful expansive space within. And as we each turn to this space within, we have our eyes closed. I have my eyes closed, and I do so that I can be totally immersed in the oneness of all of life, because I don't see anything outside of myself. I just see this space that is as eternal and vast as the space that spans beyond the myriad universes. And so I know that this space is that eternal, and that each one of us is also as eternal and vast as the space that spans beyond the myriad universes. And in this moment, I remember that there is only one thing happening right here, right now, and it is spirit. And spirit is expressing itself in, through, and as each one of us. And it has come here. It has birthed itself into existence as each one of us to live a life that we love, to remember the truth of our being, to remember who we are, to recognize and know that we are spirit in form, we are God in form, we are the thing itself. And so knowing that this is the truth, we can let our egos take the back seat, get our bloated nothingness out of the way, and allow the spirit within us to shine through, to sparkle and shimmer and glimmer its way through this life. It's so good. Like, why would we want anything other than this divine expression to shine through us? We are so blessed to get to walk this planet together at this time. I'm so grateful for this community and for all of the love that has gone into making this community what it is. For every individual who woke up this morning and said, I'm coming to Awakening Ways Center for Spiritual Living this morning because this is my spiritual family. I'm so grateful for the musicians and the choir members who have practiced throughout the week and done everything required of them in order to be here to create a shift in consciousness in this room, in themselves, and in the world today. Wow. I'm so grateful for all of this good. I'm so grateful, and I know that each one of us knows our calling, and we remember who we are, and we move through this week remembering the way that we have manifested, and it is so good. And we remember that we can continue on this route of manifesting and move into the different kingdoms as well. What a journey. This life is so good. I'm so grateful as I release this prayer, knowing it is so, and so it is. So it is. Yes. All right. Thank you.
Many of you will know words to this chorus. And if you don't, just go la, 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 la.
Everything is beautiful in its own way, like a starry summer night or a snow-covered winter's day. And everybody's beautiful in their own way. As long as we have love on our side, the world's gonna find a way. There are none so blind as those who refuse to see. We must not close our minds when we can let our thoughts be free. For every day that passes by, the world seems to get a little bit colder. It's time to realize salvation lies in the eyes of the beholder. And everything is beautiful in its own way, like the starry summer night or the snow-covered winter's day. And everybody's beautiful in their own way. As long as we have love on our side, the world's gonna find a way. We shouldn't care about the way people pray or the color of their skin. Don't fret about what shows from without. See the hope that lies within. It may seem the world is falling apart and people are all so divided. Go inside with your soul as your guide. See them all united. Everything is beautiful in its own way, like a starry summer night or a snow-covered winter's day. Sing it again.
Everybody's beautiful.
Everybody's beautiful in their own way. Long as we have love on our side, the world's gonna find a way.
Long as we have
Love on our side, the world's gonna find a way.
All right, beautiful. Everything is beautiful. Okay, my friends, it's now time for our conscious giving. Will our ushers please come forward? Thank you so much today. Our ushers are Jen and Betty. Let's give them some love. Volunteers in the house. Okay, my friends. All right, if you're tuning in on the love stream, you can go to paypal.me/awakeningways to make your donation. If you're in the room and you forgot your checkbook or your cash, no problem. We have a QR code on the back of the program that you can scan with your smartphone, and you can make your donation that way. And I encourage you, folks, to please consider giving to our community. If this service has inspired you in any way, we have a giving affirmation that I would love to have you repeat after me. So if you'll take your gift and place it over your heart, or if you gave at the office, you can place your hand over your heart. And please repeat after me. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It is evidence of my faith and my belief. It is evidence of my faith and my belief. It does great work in the world. It does great work in the world. And returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is.
God is my source.
So I just bless all these gifts, knowing that the intentions behind the giving, I know that it is given with love, and I know that each one of these loving gifts ripple out like a little pebble thrown in the water behind me. The love just keeps rippling out, so this benefits our community, our town, our county, and just keeps rippling out from there. I'm so grateful for all these gifts, and so it is.
So it is.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, BJ. And now we have announcements. Our announcements angel for today is Mr. Jim Peterson. So let's give him some love. Got folks with double duty. Thank you, Jim.
I'm all out of breath.
I'm all out of breath.
Okay. You might not know this, but our annual meeting is today, right after service. And I've been told we are being provided lunch. Yay. So stick around, meet the board members and all the other folks that make this thing happen. And so we'll talk about what we did last year and our plans for the rest of this year. Last Sunday, we kicked off the Gourmets for God fundraiser for 2025. Susan, would you like to come up and talk about that?
Hi, everyone. So Gourmets for God is the most fun fundraiser of our community for the whole year. And this will be our 4th year of doing that. And so the way it works is that certain people host events, and you create an event out of thin air. And it can be anything. We've had movies. We had Sip and Paint, which was so much fun. We all painted a picture together. We've had movies and pinza with Gina and BJ. We've had my family does Stein's Catering. They do tutorials. So they're cooking up something for this year to teach us all how to make cinnamon rolls and pastries. So the sky is the limit on this. And what I want to encourage you is, let's say you have a great house, but you don't really want to host something. Find a person who loves to cook and make food. I would be one of those. And partner up. I did that last year. We created a Hawaiian luau, lay back and hang loose event by partnering up together. So let your imagination go wild here. We're going to be, so we have these forms over here at the table. This is the host form that you fill out where you describe your event. Take one. If you don't know what your event is, take it home and dream it up. We're going to be doing this until April 13th. That's the deadline to create the events, right? And then starting on Easter Sunday, the 20th, we're going to start the bidding on the events. And that's going to go until May 19th. So it's super fun. We have so much good time together. So I really want to encourage you to take this on.
This week, we are excited to host a Buddhist monk, Geshe Labsang Setan. And we've got 3 events, one on Wednesday, one on Thursday, and one on Friday. On Wednesday, he'll give a talk and a meditation on mindfulness. Then on Thursday, the topic is loving kindness. And then the Friday talk is on compassion. It will be at 6 o'clock. Yes, got that right. 6 to 8:30-ish on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. At the office, sorry. Yep. And there's no fee to attend these, but love offerings will be going to the girls' school that he founded in 2012, Dorje Zong, it's called, and all the love offerings will go there. Sign up at the back table as usual and take a flyer. We've got them there, and you can take to your neighborhood and pass it around. A lot of people come to these. Then the following week, we've got Jamie Nicole back on Wednesday, the 19th, at 6:30 at our office for sound healing and inner peace. And you need to bring your yoga mat if you want to, I guess, and pillow or blanket. Everybody's welcome. There's a suggested offering of $25, but no one will be turned away. Same thing back at the table there. we have a flyer to bring for a friend as well. On Friday of that week, so a week from Friday coming up, we'll show our final film of the season of Peace and Nonviolence. It's called Moana. Moana? Okay. I looked it up. It's really looks pretty cool. Let me read this. This is cool. Nonviolence is so intimately woven into the plot that the ultimate resolution of the conflict draws from restorative and, in this case, literal transformative justice. That's quite a sentence, but you get the idea. There's a link in the movie trailer in our e-news, so you can check that out. Tell your friends, sign up sheet, and all that at the back. No fee to attend. Then, at the end of the month, 3 weeks from today, I guess it would be, on Sunday, March 30th, we're delighted to have back in our presence acclaimed singer-songwriter Daniel Nahmod. And he will provide the music and the message, and there will be a concert afterwards. So look forward to that. Concert tickets are $25, but again, we have angel tickets available. Sign up at the back. Our book of the month is The Energy Code's 7-Step System to Awaken Your Heart, Heal Your Body, and Live Your Best Life by Dr. Sue Morter. It's available back there. Do we have some copies? I guess so. For $15. And we also have the March-April Science of Mind for $10. And as always, a big round of applause for our volunteers and staff.
Woohoo! Thank you, Jim. All right, let's circle up for our benediction and call in response, and then we're going to eat and meet. Eat, take a break, then meet. Hi, good to see you. Oh, we're not going to hold hands just yet. Oh, yeah, squeeze in. There you go. All right, my friends, won't you know with me that you are never alone, that God is where you are right now and always, and all that we ever need do is turn within, and it is here we will find we are guided, sustained, directed, and inspired by a source that knows only good. Joyously let us make use of these gifts in all that we think, in all that we say, and in all that we do. Please repeat after me, something wonderful is happening as me right now.
Something wonderful is happening as me right now.
It is this thing called life.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my relationships.
Life is in my relationships.
Life is everywhere.
Life is everywhere.
I think it.
I think it.
I feel it.
I feel it.
I believe it.
I believe it.
I express it.
I express it.
I accept it.
I accept it.
Just the way that it is.
Just the way that it is.
And just the way that it is not.
And just the way that it is not.
Thank you, life.
Thank you, life.
Woohoo!